Hello everyone. In this video, we will be discussing about BT speaking completely. We will be discussing all the different question types in detail, that is read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, read a lecture and short answer question. In the BT exam, first there will be personal introduction. Here given 25 seconds to prepare and 30 seconds to record your answer. This task does not contribute to the BT score. You have to prepare 2 to 3 sentences about what you have studied, what you're going to study, where you're planning to study, hobbies, interest, etc. This task will help you to familiarize with the PTE test. So in the PT exam, part 1 will be speaking and the writing test, part 2 will be the reading, part 3 will be listening. There will be no break in between. So in approximately 2 hours, the whole test will be completed. So now we will be discussing the first task in PT, that is read aloud. The length of the text is up to 60 words. We are given marks for reading and speaking, while we are not given any marks for writing and listening. In speaking, we are given approximately 30 points, and for reading, we are given approximately 20 to 22 points. So this is a very important task. You have 30 to 40 seconds to read the text and prepare. Read the text in mind. Instead, you have to speak aloud exactly as you speak when recording starts. Practice clearly in the 30 to 40 seconds so that you don't make any mistake when the recording starts. The time to answer depends on the length of the text. The number of questions are 6 to 7. Then we have some important points to remember. You should speak clearly, there is no need to rush. Finish speaking before the progress bar reaches the end. The word recording will change to completed. You're only able to record your response once. Don't be silent for more than 3 seconds because the microphone will be automatically off and then you won't be able to attend that question. Then comes marking criteria. We focus on content and fluency, but pronouncing each and every word clearly is very, very important. And we must not speak too fast or too slow. We must speak at a normal speed. In read aloud, we are given 5 points for content, 5 points for fluency, and 5 points for pronunciation. So, what is content here? You have to speak each and every word given in the paragraph. Now, we'll be discussing the important tips. Don't speak the words which are hard, as we will lose mark in both pronunciation and fluency. Because when we speak in difficult words, we will hesitate and lose marks in fluency. And when we are pronouncing the word wrong, we will lose mark in pronunciation also. So while speaking, you must not consider that particular word. So without considering that particular word, you have to speak the paragraph. So now I am finding the word geological difficult in this paragraph. So without considering the word geological, I'll be reading this whole paragraph. The classic era of Mayan came to an end around 900 AD. Why this happened is unclear. The cities were probably overfarming the land so that a period of drought led to famine. Recent research supports this as there appears to have been a 200-year drought around this time. So in the 30 to 40 seconds preparation time, you must have a clear idea of how to say the sentence without that particular word. Else, you will hesitate to repeat when the recording will start. And then we have the one-line strategy. I don't suggest the one-line strategy. Record yourself using the microphone to check if you can complete the paragraph in 40 seconds. And listen to your own recording and interpret whether you're speaking clearly each word. Are your words matching with the real text? You will have to record and just listen to the audio and check if you're speaking clearly, if the words are matching with the real text. Sometimes we are too fast and we're not pronouncing the words correctly, so it is not clear. So we have to check if we're doing any mistake in content, pronunciation, or fluency. And then we have the fluency. Don't take unnecessary pauses. Pause near the comma. Alter the intonation. Your voice must rise when there is a comma and your voice must fall when there is a full stop. Example, why this happened is unclear. The cities were probably over farming the land so that a period of drought led to famine. We'll take one more example. Recent geological research supports this as there appears to have been a 200-year drought around this time and stress the words with higher importance. For example, he went to market to buy vegetables. So this is about the fluency. Then we have the pronunciation. We focus on content and fluency, but pronunciation is also very, very important. So this is a complete sentence, that is, the classic era of Mayan came to an end around 900 AD. This is a complete sentence. So this is the first word, that is the. Second word is classic. Third word is era. So these are the different words of the sentence. Now we'll be looking at the first letter of each word. So the first letter of the word the is a T. First letter of the word classic is C. First letter of the word era is E. So pronouncing the first letter of each word or the first few letters clearly, very, very important. Because when you pronounce the first letter of each word clearly or the first 2 to 3 letters clearly, the pronunciation of the whole word will be very clear. Example, geological. We'll take one more example, probably. And when we're pronouncing the word chemists, we are automatically pronouncing the word E at the end. So when we are telling these words, you have to consider that there is an E at the end of the word. So when you consider there is an E at the end, you will easily be able to pronounce the word clearly. So this is a sample question. Here we are given preparation time. Here you can see the recording has started. So now we will be solving this question. The classic era of Mayan came to an end around 900 AD. Why this happened is unclear. The cities were probably over-farming the land so that a period of drought led to famine. Recent geological research supports this as there appears to have been a 200-year drought around this time. So we've clearly discussed how to solve the read aloud question type. Now we will be discussing the next question type, that is repeat sentence. The length of the audio is 3 to 9 seconds. There are given marks for listening and speaking, while we are not given any marks for writing and reading. In speaking, we are given approximately 30 points, and for listening, we are given approximately 20 points. So, this is a very important task. The time to prepare is 1 second. The time to answer is 15 seconds. The number of questions are 10 to 12 questions. Now, we will be looking at the marking criteria. For content, we are given 3 points. For pronunciation, we are given 5 points. For fluency, we are given 5 points. So, what is content here? All words in the response are correct, 3 points. At least 50% of words are correct, 2 points. Less than 50% of words are correct, 1 point. Almost nothing from the prompt is correct, 0 points. So, what is pronunciation here? You have to speak each and every word very clearly. And what is fluency here? You're not supposed to hesitate or repeat while you're speaking. So, these are some of the examples. So, listen to English conversations. It can be news, movie, debate, etc. Because only when we listen to English conversations, we understand how the Americans and Britishers pronounce the words. Once we understand the pronunciation, we will understand the meaning of the sentence. Therefore, instead of writing, we have to listen very carefully and understand the meaning of the sentence. And in case, if we have less keywords, we are not supposed to hesitate or repeat. We must add 3 to 4 words and make sure to complete the sentence, because for content we are given 3 points, and for pronunciation and fluency we are given 5 points. Example: the complete sentence is Tom went to buy vegetables and returned to his house. But I only remember Tom went to buy vegetables. So I'll be telling Tom went to buy vegetables and I'm positive about it. Here you can see in the marking criteria, content we are given 3 points, pronunciation 5 points, fluency 5 points. So you have to make sure to complete the sentence, and while speaking the sentence, you're not supposed to hesitate or repeat. You have to make sure to pronounce each and every word very, very clearly, because we're given 5 points for pronunciation and 5 points for fluency. Now we'll be looking at how to understand the meaning. Each sentence will have minimum 3 or maximum 5 keywords. So repeat those keywords in your mind and count them using your fingers, only those keywords. Example: Tom went to buy vegetables and returned to his house. Our right hand will be near the mouse. So using our left hand, we will be counting the keywords. When they say Tom, I have tapped my first finger using my thumb finger and have told the word Tom in my mind. Then you have to understand and visualize the statement. And when they say the next keyword, that is with vegetables, I've tapped my next finger and have told the word vegetables in my mind. Then when they say house, I have tapped my third finger and have told the word house in my mind. So counting the keywords and repeating the keywords in our mind, you have to do it very, very quickly. At the end, we have counted all the keywords. We have completely understood the statement as a story, so we will be able to repeat the sentence correctly. So here the audio is playing and here the recording has started. So we have clearly discussed how to attempt the repeat sentence question type. So now we will be discussing the next question type, that is describe image. So here the prompt length is not applicable. The stills as such as speaking, we are given approximately. The time to answer is 40 seconds. Time to prepare is 25 seconds. The number of questions are 3 to 4 questions. So what is content here? Describe all the elements of the image, 5 points. Describe all the key elements of the image, 4 points. Deals with only one key element in the image, 2 points. Describe some basic elements of the image, 1 point. Mention some disjointed elements, 0 points. So here you can see for content we are given 5 points. Fluency we are given 5 points, and pronunciation we are given 5 points. Then you have the important points to remember. So in content, you have to mention at least 8 to 10 elements or important words of the image. Then you have the pronunciation and fluency. We have to follow a template so that we don't hesitate to repeat while we are speaking. First is the introduction, then you have the paragraph, and then you have the conclusion. So this is the template. You have to speak for a minimum of 25 to 30 seconds. Sometimes we have more keywords in the given image, and after including the keywords in the template, we speak for more than 40 seconds. So you must have a clear idea in case if the keywords are more, which sentence you will not be telling, and in case if you have less keywords, you must have an idea which sentence you will be including. You have to speak for a minimum of 25 to 30 seconds, and before 40 seconds itself, you have to finish speaking the complete answer, else we will be in a rush and we will make mistakes. So here you can see there are two different type of question. Images in which keywords are not mentioned. So we have to write all the keywords in the notepad. Example, in this image the keywords will be computer, keyboard, plant, coffee, tea, book, and After you have written the keywords in the notepad, you have to mark in the notepad which keyword you'll be telling in the introduction and which keyword you'll be telling in the paragraph so that you don't have any confusion while you're telling the answer. Then you have the next question, that is graph. Here you can see there will be a heading, there will be different categories, there will be different values. You have to tell what is given in the x-axis, what is given in the y-axis. You have to mention all the different values for the number. First one is the image in which no keywords are mentioned. So in that case, you will have to write all the keywords in the notepad. Second one is all the keywords are already given in the image. So you don't have to write anything in the notepad. You have to just look at the image and using the template, you'll have to answer the question. Time to prepare is 25 seconds. You're not supposed to say the difficult words as you will lose mark in pronunciation and fluency. You must have an idea which keyword you'll be telling in the first sentence, which keyword you'll be telling in the second sentence, etc. This is important. And you must tell the template along with the keywords during the preparation time so that you don't have any confusion while the recording starts. Now, using the template, we will be solving the question. The given image provides information about 2014 diamond production by value. The different categories mentioned in the image are Russia, Canada, and South Africa. The different values highlighted in the image are 8%, 9%, and 14%. After studying the image, I can say 18%, 25%, and 26%. To conclude, the image has different values and I find it very informative. So we clearly discussed how to solve the describe image question type. So now we'll be discussing the next question type, that is a written lecture. The length of the audio is up to 90 seconds. The skills assessed are listening and speaking. They are given marks for listening and speaking, while we're not given any marks for writing and reading. In speaking, we are given approximately 7 to 8 points, and for listening, we are given approximately 6 to 8 points. So, what is the task after listening to the lecture? You have to retell the lecture in your own words. Time to answer is 40 seconds. The time to prepare is 10 seconds. After the audio finishes, you have 10 seconds to prepare. So, during the 10 seconds, you have to go through what you have written on the notepad and you must have an idea which keywords to tell in the introduction and which keywords to tell in the paragraph. And then we have the time to answer. Time to answer is 40 seconds. The number of questions are 1 to 2 questions. So now we'll be looking at the marking criteria. First is the content. Retell all points of the lecture 5 point. Describe all key points of the lecture 4 point. Deal with most important points in the lecture 3 points. Deals with only one key point in the lecture 2 points. Describe some basic elements of the lecture 1 point. Mention some disjointed elements 0 points. So here for content we are given 5 points. For pronunciation we are given 5 points. And for fluency we are given 5 points. So what is pronunciation? You have to pronounce each and every word very clearly. And what is fluency? You're not supposed to hesitate or repeat while you're speaking. Then you have the important points to remember. You have to listen to English conversations. It can be movie, debate, or news. Because when we listen to English conversations, we understand how Americans and Britishers pronounce the words. Once we understand the pronunciation, we will understand the meaning of the sentence. We have to write down at least 9 to 15 keywords. You can repeat the keywords while speaking, but make sure you're speaking for minimum 25 to 30 seconds. Follow a template. We have to follow a template so that we don't hesitate to repeat while we're speaking. The template must have introduction, then you have the paragraph, then you have the conclusion. So this is the template. So here we have highlighted all the important keywords. Now we will be discussing how to write the important keywords. So in the first 1 to 2 sentences, they will be introducing the topic. So you have to clearly understand the topic. Then you have to listen to the rest of the audio as a story or a report. What reasons, evidence, effects, example they are mentioning. Because when we listen to the audio as a story or a report, we will understand which sentence is important and which sentence is not important. So we will easily be able to write all the important keywords. Understanding the topic, listening to the rest of the audio as a story or a report, and writing the important keywords is very, very important. You have to write the notes in the notepad. If you have no space to write in that particular page, you have to open a new page before the audio begins so that you're not in a rush while you're writing. And you have to close the pen after writing, else the pen will dry up and you will not be able to answer the question. So we have to write all the important keywords in the notepad while listening to the audio. Now we will be solving this question using the template. The main topic of the lecture was Mars. The speaker mentioned about the second smallest planet, iron oxide and reddish appearance. Additionally, he discussed about terrestrial planet, thin atmosphere and seasons. He highlighted about largest volcano and largest mountain. He also mentioned about presence of the liquid water, periodic variation, geological evidence, and water coverage. To conclude, the speaker spoke about Mars, and I found the lecture very informative. So we will have to take notes by listening to the audio. After the audio finishes, we have 10 seconds to prepare, and then you'll have to tell the answer. We have clearly discussed how to solve the detailed lecture question type. Now we will be discussing the next question type, that is short answer question. The length of the audio will be 3 to 9 seconds. Given marks for listening and speaking, but we are not given any marks for writing and reading. We are given approximately 2 points for listening and approximately 2 points for speaking. The time to answer is 10 seconds. You have to speak into the microphone immediately, and here there is no preparation time. The audio begins to play automatically. And if you reply to the question in one or few words, the number of questions are 5 to 6 questions. Then you have the marking criteria. They are given marks for vocabulary. Appropriate word choice 1 point, inappropriate word choice 0 point. And don't be silent for more than 3 seconds because the microphone will be automatically off and you will not be able to answer that question. Here there is no negative marking. Then you have the important points to remember. Just repeat the keywords from the question and you'll have to utilize that time for thinking the answer. Once you get the answer, you'll have to repeat into the microphone. And you'll have to go to the different questions which is available during your free time and you'll have to practice them. But this task is not that important. So now we'll be solving a question. What is the occupation title for a person who composes novels? So here we'll be repeating title 2 times, novel 2 times. By then you'll get the answer. Then say the correct answer, that is novelist. Here the audio is playing and here the recording has started. So we have clearly discussed all the different question types in the PTE speaking. Now we'll be discussing some other important points. So in the examination hall, the candidates will be sitting next to each other and there will be a shield separating one cabin from another. But you can clearly hear what the other candidate is telling. For example, the other candidate will be speaking about environment in PTE read aloud and your paragraph will be about education. So you have to speak about education while you can clearly hear the other person speak about environment. So this can be disturbing. So you have to practice the PTE speaking task in the presence of background noise. You have to just search PTE background noise. There are different videos available. So you'll have to practice in the presence of the background noise so that you don't have any confusion in the examination hall. So this is very important. And they will give us a notepad and 2 marker pens. Before the exam starts, they will ask us to check the marker pen. So you have to check and make sure the marker pen is working. And you won't be able to erase what you have written on the notepad. If there is no space to write in that particular page, you have to open the next page and start writing. So if there is no space to write in that particular page, before the audio starts itself, you have to open a new page so that you're not in a rush while the audio starts. And you have to close the marker pen quickly. You must not leave the marker pen open because the marker pen will dry up and you will not be able to write the answer. So we have discussed PTE speaking completely. We will be discussing the writing task completely. First, we have the summarized written text. The length of the text is up to 300 words. We are given marks for reading and writing, while we are not given any marks for speaking and listening. We are given approximately 4 to 5 points for reading and 7 to 8 points for writing. The time to answer is 10 minutes. The number of questions are 1 to 2 questions. And then you have the marking criteria. First is the form. One single complete sentence, 1 point. Fewer than 5 or more than 75 words, 0 points. Summary written in capital letters, 0 points. Then you have the content. Provides a good summary of the text, 2 points. The whole PTE, there are 3 question types in which content and form is very, very important. They are summarized written text, essay, and summarized spoken text. Because if in content we are given 0 points, there will be no further marking. And if in form we are given 0 points, there will be no further marking. We won't be given further marks for vocabulary, spelling, etc. If content and form is marked 0, then for the question type that is summarized written text, we will get 0 points. So we always have to make sure that content and form is 100% perfect. Any of the grammar, correct grammatical structure 2 points, contains grammatical errors 1 point. Defective grammatical structure 0 points. Then we have the vocabulary, appropriate choice of word 2 points. Errors but no hinders to communication 1 point. Defective word choice 0 point. First line of the summary will be the topic sentence, and then you have to select 2 important sentences and connect using the words while and furthermore, whereas, so, for, and, etc. And you have to conclude by telling the last line of the summary. You have to check the spelling in the last 2 minutes. Now we're discussing how to solve the question. First, have to look for the topic sentence. The first 1 to 2 sentences will be the topic sentence, which will introduce the topic. So here they have mentioned the co-evolutionary relationship between cows and grass is one of nature's underappreciated wonders. Then you will have to look for the different ideas they have mentioned and select the important sentence. When they mention about the idea, they will first introduce, give reasons to support the idea, give an example, tell about the cause, effect, etc., and conclude at the end. So you have to go through the paragraph where they have introduced the idea and check for the important sentence. So here they have mentioned 2 important ideas. First is about the grasses. Second, they have mentioned about sheep, sun, etc. The first idea, that is for the grasses, how to select the important sentence. And for the second idea, that is for the sheep, sun, how to select the important sentence. So you have to look for the first sentence or the last sentences as it mostly gives an overview of the idea they have mentioned. If the overview is not mentioned, you have to look for an important reason which they have mentioned to support the idea. Same way, you have to look for the important sentence for the second idea, that is about the sheep, bison, etc. Now we'll be looking at the example. So here they have mentioned the first idea. So in the first idea that is about the grasses, the important sentence will be the last sentence as it gives an overview about the grasses. In exchange for these services, the grasses offer ruminants plentiful and exclusive supply of lunch. And in the second idea, that is for the sheep, bison, etc., the important sentence is at the beginning as it gives an overview of what they are telling. For cows like sheep, bison, and other ruminants have evolved a special ability to convert grass, which single stomach creatures like us can't digest, into high quality protein. They can do this because they possess what is surely the most highly evolved digestive organ in nature, the rumen. And then you'll have to look for the last sentence as they will be concluding in the last sentence. Here you can see the last sentences. This is an excellent system for the grasses, for the bacteria, for the animals, and for us. So now we'll be solving this question. The co-evolutionary relationship between cows and grass is one of nature's underappreciated wonders. The grass offers ruminants a plentiful and exclusive supply of lunch, while the cows have evolved the special ability to convert grass with single stomach creatures like us can't digest, and concludes by telling that grasses co-evolved with the cow whom they feed, and this is an excellent system for the grasses, for the bacteria, for the animals, and for us. So here I have not included some words as the word count was more than 70. So always make sure to write a minimum of 50 words and not more than 70 words. And in the whole paragraph, you can use only one full stop. This is very, very important. You will have to start with a capital letter and you will have to end with the full stop at the end. And while connecting the sentences, you will have to use comma. In the whole paragraph, you can use only one full stop. We have clearly discussed how to solve the summarized written text. Now we'll be discussing the next question type, that is essay. The length of the question will be 2 to 3 sentences. The skills assist writing. We are given approximately 10 to 14 points for writing, while you are not given any marks for speaking, listening, and reading. The time to answer is 20 minutes. The number of questions are 1 to 2. What is the task? You have to write a 200 to 300 word essay on the given topic. To make sure to write a minimum of 200 words and not more than 300 words. There are also cut, copy, and paste patterns which you can use while constructing your response. Then you have the marking criteria. First, to the content. Adequately deals with the question 3 points. Does not deal with one minor aspect 2 points. Omits a major aspect 1 point. Does not deal properly with the question 0 point. Then we have the form. Length is between 200 and 300 words 2 points. Length is between 120 and 199 1 point. Length is between 301 and 380 words 1 point. Length is less than 120 or more than 380 words 0 points. Essay written in capital letters contains no punctuation or consists only of bullet points, very short content with 0 points. So here is the whole PTE task as we have discussed before. So there are 3 question types in the whole PTE in which content and form is very important. They are summarized written text, essay, and summarized spoken text. So here in content, if you are given 0 points, there will be no further marking. If in the form we are given 0 points, there will be no further marking. You won't be given further marks for vocabulary, spelling, etc. So if content and form is marked 0, then for the question type, that is essay writing, we will get 0 points. So we always have to make sure that content and form is 100% perfect. Then we have the development, structure, and coherence. Shows good development and logical structure 2 points. Less structured 1 point. Lacks coherence 0 points. Grammar shows consistent grammatical control 2 points. Shows a relatively high degree of grammatical control 1 point. Contains mainly simple sentences 0 points. Then you have the linguistic range. Exhibits smooth mastery of a wide range of language 2 points. Sufficient range of language 1 point. Contains mainly basic language 0 points. Then you have the vocabulary. Good command 2 points. Shows a good range of vocabulary 1 point. Contains mainly basic vocabulary 0 points. Then you have the spelling. Correct spelling 2 point. 1 spelling error 1 point. More than 1 spelling error 0 points. And for the question type, that is essay, follow a single template for all the question. Template must have good connectors, good structure, and good vocabulary. So in the template, first we have the introduction paragraph. You have to prepare 2 to 3 sentences for the introduction, which will be common for all the question, and then add the topic sentence, that is your question, and state your opinion. And then you have the paragraph. You have to prepare 2 to 3 sentences for the paragraph 1, which will be common for all the question. Then you have to cover the first part of the topic, give an example, and give reasons to support the idea. And then you have the paragraph 2. You have to prepare 2 to 3 sentences for paragraph 2, which will be common for all the question. Then you'll have to cover the second part of the topic, give an example, and give reasons to support the idea. And you can use the words furthermore, moreover, additionally, etc. to give reasons. And then you have the conclusion paragraph. You have to prepare 1 to 2 sentences for the conclusion paragraph, which will be common for all the question. And then you have to include the topic statement and conclude the essay. You can create an example yourself. For example, the latest study, or you can say survey, or you can say research conducted in India reveals that 30% of students prefer. You can tell a new study reveals that in college, a vast majority of students, or you can tell the study reveals that more than 90% of people Here you can create an example yourself. So beforehand itself, you have to prepare 2 to 3 sentences for the introduction, which will be common for all the questions. You'll have to prepare 2 to 3 sentences for paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and conclusion paragraph, which will be common for all the questions. So this is the sample question. So you have to check the word count while you're writing, and also you have to check the spelling in the last 2 to 3 minutes. And when you write the essay, the vocabulary, structure, grammar must be 100% perfect. So we've clearly discussed the PTE writing completely. In case of speaking and writing, total time is 54 to 67 minutes. So now we'll be discussing the important task in speaking. So here the first important task is to read aloud, as we are given 20 to 22 points in reading and approximately 30 points for speaking. Then you have the repeat sentence, which is the second important task in speaking, as we are given approximately 20 points in listening and approximately 30 points for speaking. Then you have the third important task, that is describe image, as we are given 12 to 15 points for speaking. Then you have the fourth important task, that is creative lecture, as we are given approximately 6 to 8 points in listening and approximately 7 to 8 points in speaking. Then you have the less or the least important task, that is short answer question, as we are given 2 points for listening and 2 points for speaking. First, we have summarized the written text, which is the second important task in writing, as we are given approximately 4 to 5 points for reading and approximately 7 to 8 points for writing. So here we given marks for reading. Students who are facing difficulty in reading, they have to make sure that they're practicing the summarized written text. So here you can see from this question type, we are getting marks for reading. Then we have the essay. This is the first most important question type in writing, as we are given approximately 10 to 14 points for writing. So in writing, the first important task is essay and the second important task is summarize written text. So these two tasks are very important. So we've clearly discussed PT, speaking and writing. So thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the video. See you soon in the next video. Have a great day.